Hi, I'm Mark Gaylor and I'm a Sony Imaging Ambassador, and I'm here today not to talk to you about cameras but a rather special bag called the Lightning Rider 12L made by Wotancraft. Many of you are probably already very well aware that I love to travel very light when on extended adventures. Now, Mike O'Connor took this photograph of myself and a number of students that I was teaching on top of these sand dunes. When I pointed out to Mike O'Connor that it was a great shot of me in the middle, he said, "How do you know that's you?" And I said, well, I'm the only one not carrying a very heavy tripod and a very large backpack. I much prefer to work with smaller messenger bags and smaller tripods. Okay, so I've become a really big fan of the Pilot messenger bags made by Wotancraft. Now, I'm not the only fan of these bags. Chris Nichols of DP Review voted it his product of the year in 2021, and he said the piece of gear that turned out to be the long-lasting love was hanging off my shoulder the whole time. So that's praise indeed, and that was for the Pilot 10L. Now, I'm also a fan of the smaller Pilot 7L. Now, I go out and shoot sports action events with my Sony Alpha camera, and I put the Pilot 7L in my tank bag of my BMW motorcycle. And so that's an easy way of getting to venues where sometimes the roads around the triathlons are shut off. I can usually get the bike very close to the start of the event. Now, today I'm going to be looking at another product by Wotancraft called the Lightning Rider. Now, what's with the name first off? What's the rider aspect of that name mean? It's basically designed for people on motorcycles or bicycles who need a messenger bag that won't swing about. And they've achieved this with a 3-point stabilizing strap. And I'll look at this in a little bit more detail as we move through this. But as you can see from this illustration, the red arrow points to that secondary strap, which comes underneath or around the chest, underneath the armpit, and then back onto the main strap. And this secures that bag from swinging around if you are riding with one of these rider bags. First off, I would have to point out this is a premium quality luxury bag from a premium quality bag manufacturer. So you might get a little bit of a surprise when you see the price of this bag, but to put this in context, it's actually cheaper than a cheap prime lens that Sony makes. This is not the G or GM lens, this is just an 85mm 1.8, and the lens is actually more expensive than this premium bag. So I just wanted to point this out before we get too far into this review. Now, my last big adventure was over to the USA. I met a friend from the UK. We both flew into Las Vegas, hired a couple of Harley Davidsons, and did a 1,500-mile charity ride in support of War Child. There is a link to this excellent charity in the information section below. Now, in order to get the best quality bags, most appropriate bags for this journey, I chose the Pilot 10L and a Pilot 7L. The 10L by most airlines is treated as your secondary bag because it does fit underneath the airline seat in front of you. Now, I had the Pilot 7L in a fold-away canvas bag with my motorcycle helmet, so I checked 0 luggage, and this is how I much prefer to travel now that I'm traveling very light. Now you can see that the Pilot bags went into the panniers of this Harley Davidson Heritage Classic very easily. The slimline bags went into the slimline panniers. I had the Pilot 7L in the right side, which is slightly less deep, and the Pilot 10L in the left side, which is a little bit deeper. And as you can see, there's plenty of room for additional stuff such as the lock and the water bottle inside of that pannier. Now, I thought I'd chosen absolutely the best bags for the journey, and they certainly did me right through that 2-week 1,500-mile journey. But Max, who I met up in Las Vegas, he chose the Lightning Rider 12L as his second bag. and the Pilot 10L as his first bag. Now you can see I didn't know that he would get the Lightning Rider 12L into one of the panniers, but as you can see from this photograph, that was more than possible. And as you can see, he's not had to scrunch that in. You can see the very bad design of the Harley Davidson pannier there with the lock mechanism coming in. So having a flexible bag to go around that lock is certainly one of the advantages of working with these messenger bags. As soon as I saw Max's 12L Lightning Rider, I did have a little bit of bag envy, and I possibly would have chosen this as my second bag, hence this review. As we can see, if we undo the top two straps there, the Lightning Rider 12L expands out, and you can see there it takes up the 12L, the 12L for 12-litre capacity. Okay, so that's 20% more capacity than the Pilot 10L. Now there are some very significant design feature differences between these two bags. So I'm not saying that it's a better bag than the Pilot 10L, but it does have some feature differences. So I'd like to outline some of these in this review. Here's a top-down view, and you can probably see where the extra capacity is coming as we expand that Lightning Rider out to the full width there. And as I said, that does go into that Harley Davidson pannier there. Now, just to give you another idea of the total carrying capacity of this Lightning Rider, here it is going inside a 7-kilogram carry-on airline bag here. Now, I wouldn't actually put this in the bag, but you can see it's got a little bit less capacity than perhaps that 7-kilogram carry-on. And of course, it's going to be lighter in itself because it's going to be lighter than the lightest carry-on wheelie that you can find. To give you one of the advantages of the Pilot series bag is you do have these webbing straps on the outside, which does allow you to extend the system. If you can't get everything inside the bag, we can use the side pockets left and right to put maybe water bottles in, and we can also purchase these additional clip-on accessories where you can put in additional gear, and they do clip on and off in just a matter of seconds and are very secure on those Pilot messenger bags. And here is an example of another lens going on the outside of this messenger bag. Now, this isn't an option for the Lightning Rider. Everything basically has to go in the bag, so this may be a point of difference when you're deciding which bag to go for. Having said that, if it is a second bag to your camera bag, you're going to get a lot of stuff inside this Lightning Rider because of its capacity. Now you can see that image from Wotancraft on the left side. We've got an older model iPad going into the front sleeve there. Now I've got one of the latest iPad Pro 11-inch, and that does go in that side pocket on the front there. It's also big enough to actually take quite a large water bottle. I wouldn't put the iPad and the water bottle in the same time, so it's an either or workflow there. Now you've got those organizers inside the Lightning Rider for a 13-inch a MacBook Pro or an equivalent 13-inch laptop there, and you've also got pockets for a large smartphone and your necessary documents there. And I'm going to be using a bag for putting additional clothing in when I travel, because I'll put all of my camera gear in one of the Pilot series bags. If you don't have enough organizers inside your Lightning Rider, you can put these Velcro attachment organizers into the inside, as well as using the additional built-in organizers. Here are 3 organizers going into a smaller version of the Rider series, not the Lightning Rider. The Lightning Rider is the 12-litre capacity version, but here you can see it going into one of the smaller Rider bags there. Now I've gone for the brown bag, and it's got this beautiful red interior, smacks of quality, I have to say. And there's my iPhone Pro Max going into that sleeve. It's a very snug fit, but it does slide in. A large smartphone goes into that. So this is going to be the expanded dimensions. You can see 35 by 25 by 14 centimeters. You might have to do the conversion if you're looking at imperial or US versions of those measurements there. Okay, so just a quick overview of the Rider series here now. It's the full leather versions that really took my interest, and I'll explain why they took my interest very shortly. And there is a link just below these images here, and I'll also put it in the info section if you want to click and go straight over to the Wotancraft site there. Now this is the leather Sling 12L version. There are also just the Lightning Rider Sling 12L without the word leather there. It still does have a lot of leather. It still is a premium quality bag, but you can see there's a mixture of leather and fabric. And this fabric, if you're not aware of what Wotancraft uses, it's the Cordura fabric. Now Cordura is a 60% thinner, 50% lighter, and 10 times stronger than wax cotton. It's basically a military grade canvas. And one of the great things about this this material is when it's raining, you don't have to reach out for the rain cover of your bag. The rain will basically roll off this fabric. I'm not going to say the bag is waterproof. I wouldn't be submerging it underneath a river to see whether the bag is waterproof to check out the 12 litre or 10 litre capacity, but you can see the rain will roll off. So long as you've covered all of the openings, your gear is going to be safe inside. Now, if you are carrying a large amount of photography gear, now I've typically not carried the 7L in these instances. If I'm including that 100-400 G Master zoom lens, I will move up to that 10 litre capacity, the Pilot 10L. Now that gear also goes into the Lightning Rider 12L, and it goes in courtesy of a quick draw camera insert that you'll have to add to your order. And this is a 3-compartment. Those interior compartments are movable, so you can move them around, make smaller or larger sections, and they do fold down, so you can stack one piece of gear on top of another without them clunking around. So this is a beautiful insert, and when not being used, of course, you can simply just lift it entirely out of the bag. So here is my 100-400 G Master telephoto zoom going in one compartment, and it's slightly lower than the top surface of this divider. And there's a full frame Sony camera, and I've got, I think, a 135 G Master Prime below that divider there, which is folded flat, so they're giving me access to put something else in there as well. Now, once you've expanded the bag out and undone those 2 top straps, you can actually, I found, I don't know whether it's the intended purpose of these straps won't come out completely very easily, so they are reasonably secure and reasonably tight fitting, that you could maybe carry a tripod that's got a little bit wet or dirty and you don't want to put it inside the bag. I usually work with very small tripods such as this Leo Photo Ranger. Now dry, this would actually go inside the bag, but I've had to extend the legs out so it goes underneath the top straps. You could also use it for maybe a wet large umbrella to put that in, so that again is not going into the bag with other gear that you don't want to get wet or dirty. Now this brings me to my next trip in early 2023. I'm heading back to India. It's a long overdue. I haven't photographed there extensively for nearly 35 years. So all of these shots were taken with analog cameras, and now I want to go back with my Sony cameras and primarily work in Rajasthan to get some great narrative documentaries and character portraits at India. So I'm thinking already about the bags that I'm going to be taking to India in the next few months. Now I'm going to be working, because I'm working primarily with portraiture and not wildlife or birds in flight, I'm going to be leaving the larger telephoto lenses at home, and I'm going to be working with a compact system. It might not be this exact precise gear that I'm taking, but this is the sort of amount of gear that I would take for a 1-month trip to India. I've got 2 Sony Prime lenses, Sony Compact Zoom, and a Sony Compact full frame camera, and also a compact tripod as well. So all of this is 2.75 kilograms or 6 pounds, and that would actually include the Pilot bag in that weight. So you can see that I don't really need to carry a backpack if I'm not really becoming that pack mule, carrying very heavy tripods and carrying everything including the kitchen sink. Now I did review, and you'll find this on my YouTube channel, I did a review smaller and lighter pilot bags, smaller and lighter than their 7L, which I have to say is my favorite camera bag. So I've noticed that if I do travel this light with that camera gear that you saw before, it will actually go in a half-size pilot, which is that 3.5L version. And so what I'm thinking of taking to India shortly is the Lightning Rider 12L for everything that I need that's not camera gear, and putting all of that camera gear into the Pilot 3.5L. Now I will not be checking any bags again, and because I'm going to be pulling stumps every 3 days to move to a new location, that means navigating very busy railway stations. I don't want to be carrying backpacks, and I don't want to be carrying suitcases with wheels. I just want to be able to get in and off those trains and to my hotels with a minimum amount of fuss, and I think these two bags is going to serve the purpose really well. So as I'm traveling, I'm still got access to my cameras for those photo opportunities. Now you've seen that I've managed to work this out using my head to work out which is the most appropriate bags for my forthcoming trip, but I have to say that there is a little bit of my heart involved with this decision making process, because when I met up with Max in the USA, I wasn't expecting to admire this bag so much as I did. I sort of had an instant love affair and bag envy, if you like, of Max's choice for this brown 12L Lightning Rider bag here, and especially when I saw it go into that Harley Davidson pannier, I thought maybe that's the bag I should have chosen for my last trip as well as the forthcoming trip. Now, I'm going to use the best of my photography skills to show you why this bag is a premium quality bag from a premium quality manufacturer. First of all, you can't, you basically touch this leather and you're already realizing, wow, this bag looks like it's been owned by, your father and passed down through the line. And this is because of this hand-crunched Italian cowhide. This is really premium quality leather, and it's got that lived-in look. Of course, the stitching is brand new, so you're getting the advantage of a brand new bag, but looks like you've owned it for at least 10 years as soon as you take it out. If I look at some of the fixtures and fittings of this bag, you can see the metal clips and buckles and studs. They all look well used, even though they're brand new. And in that illustration on the right side, when that stud goes through that hole, you're going to find the first couple of dozen times you put that stud into that hole, you're going to have to work at it quite aggressively, because the leather is premium quality leather, and you actually have to sort of like force it over to that stud. That stud isn't going to be coming out of that loophole accidentally. And I never thought I would have a lot to say about zips, but this is a YKK zip, and you can see it's the heavy duty, and it's all of the fixtures and fittings around that zip are really premium quality, and it is absolutely beautiful to look at if you can get off on looking at zips. And if I haven't already sold you on this bag, is Wotancraft is going to put in a couple of sweeteners. If you purchase a bag like this before the end of 2022, Wotancraft are going to give you some Christmas gifts to go with the bag. Because this is a premium quality product that is going to be the higher price, you're going to basically get all 4 of their Christmas gifts if you purchase this bag before the end of the year. Now, before we finish this review, and I'll talk about the Christmas gifts again just shortly, but on the Lightning Rider Sling web pages, they've got an idea of how to use that stabilizing strap. Now, you can see the guy's wearing the bag on his left shoulder, and the strap is coming underneath the left arm and then attaching back to the main strap. And there's a step-by-step guide there of how you set up that strap arrangement. Now, I have to say that both both Max, when I met him in America, and also when I took delivery of this bag, we both set up the stabilizing strap differently to how Wotancraft have suggested you set it up. So first off, this is a left shoulder configuration, and as a right-handed photographer, I prefer to hold the bag open with my left hand and reach in with my right hand to pull out maybe a camera with a 1/400 lens attached. And so if that is going to be the case, the bag is going to be on my right shoulder, not my left shoulder. So when I set up the bag, I've got the main strap attached as Wotancraft show for a left shoulder arrangement, even though this is going on my right, and I've moved the stabilizing strap to the other side. So how does this differ and to the workflow that Wotancraft have suggested? And so what I did is I took a short movie of Max wearing the Wotancraft 12L bag on his right shoulder with the stabilizing strap coming around, and it comes down lower on the chest with this configuration. It's not right underneath your armpit, it's coming around lower on the chest. So I'll get Max to do a little 360 degree turn here to show you that arrangement. And as you can see, that's going to stop the bag from swinging around if he chooses to wear that bag without putting it into the pannier. And with the stabilizing strap coming off, it's a very simple arrangement now to get the bag off your shoulder. So this is my preferred way of using that stabilizing strap, right shoulder and coming down lower on the chest. Okay, so back to those Christmas gifts. If you are watching this video before the end of 2022, basically you're purchasing a level 4 product from Wotancraft. So if you just cast your eye all of the way to the bottom there, you're looking at the 4 items that are the Christmas gifts. Now you're getting everything apart from the Christmas tree and the Pilot 10L that's in the picture here. The Pilot 10L is just showing the carabiner that's attached to there, and that is one of the 4 Christmas gifts. And then you got that premium quality Mir water bottle there. So I reckon there's probably close to $100 worth of gifts, which is a little bit of a sweetener for an expensive bag. Expensive, as I said, I outlined that the bag is actually cheaper than a non-GM Sony prime lens, so everything is relative. And compared to other very premium bags out there, I don't think it's necessarily bad value for money. In fact, I still think it's great value for money given the premium quality of this bag. So there you have it, the Lightning Rider Sling 12L, the next bag that I'm taking on my next adventure to India in 2023. I'm Mark Gaylor, Sony Imaging Ambassador. Just subscribe if you haven't already done so, and also check out my patreon.com/Mark Gaylor Alpha support site if you are a Sony user. Okay, cheers.